South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I am Mohammed Tubi, Bidu from Isiolo South constituency. First and foremost, I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here today in this August House. Secondly, I thank the people of Isiolo South for giving me the opportunity. I tried it last time, and I thought I went through, but this time they gave me the opportunity, and here I am. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to tell, for the benefit of doubt of everybody, Isiolo South is located in Isiolo County, and Isiolo Town, geographically, is the center of Kenya country, the country called Kenya, this one of ours. Yes, it is in the center of the country, and it is on the border. It is on the border and gateway into the harsh environmental condition of northern Kenya. Isiolo is located just opposite the other side of Mount Kenya. When we hear about Mount Kenya, we talk about Mount Kenya the north, Mount Kenya the south, Mount Kenya the east, and we don't talk about Mount Kenya the south. The north. That north one is that environmental, that vast, harsh environment of the northern Kenya is where we start from. Madam Speaker, the people of Isiolo South asked me to pose a question that my predecessor in the Tolo Parliament National Assembly, in the sense that South is all about Isiolo South, borders Garissa on the other side, borders Wajir on the other side, and this other side it borders Meru County. And if you look at Meru County, just our neighbors, is well developed. Isiolo is known as a start of where problems are, both in security, on the issue of insecurity, on the issue of livestock death and all the, drought and all these things. And education-wise, it is amongst the counties which are, the constituencies which are lagging in education. Simply because we have a good constitution, a wonderful constitution, which talks about opportunities for everybody. Every Kenyan, because Kenya belongs to all of us, Kenya belongs to all of us, and we are supposed to get equal opportunities of whatever is supposed to be given out. That is what we are lacking in Isiolo South and the entire north. In the drought we are talking about right now, which is ravaging the country, that drought starts from Isiolo west, the worst part of it. In Kenya we have four kinds of people. The agriculturalists who are farmers, the fishermen at the lake, those ones in towns, and the pastoralists. The most affected people in Kenya today, when it comes to drought, are the pastoralist communities. And the pastoral communities have received very, very, very minimal support from the government, successive government regimes. We hope that this regime, the new regime, will be able to focus on what is going to happen in Isiolo South, going down to the north, because development is lacking. All the infrastructures which you are seeing on our borders, in our neighbors, is not there in Isiolo and beyond. The insecurity issue. Isiolo may be the gateway of northern Kenya, but you may wonder that it is the boundary of Kenya. That is why we have all the military installations. Instead of it being on the border, we have military installations in Isiolo. stretching over to Garissa and to Turkana, I think. Why should we have this one? Because military installations are supposed to be at the border of the country. That means I attribute the insecurity of northern Kenya to some of these plans which were done at independence, where installations, military installations are placed in the center instead of on the border. Isiolo is always faced by insecurity. We have our neighbors, porous borders has been one of the issues which we are getting problems with. Madam Speaker, Isiolo is supposed to be changed. Northern Kenya is supposed to be changed by this regime. We have been marginalized from independence. We expect that now, the new constitution 2010, we expected that something has to change. But the way things are going now, unless it is being stopped, it's going to be the worst. I'm saying this because in the last parliament, there was the issue about 1 man, 1 shilling, one vote. And we are being blamed for being, our population is low. You cannot blame us when we live in that environment where we cannot, it becomes a problem for ladies or men to be able to produce and give the population the way the others are doing because of the harsh environmental conditions. So, Madam Speaker, it is now your turn, and the majority leader has been an advocate of 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. And I think we have to discard that one. We have to help one another develop. The counties which have not been developed from independence should be brought up to the level, if not equal to those ones which have developed, but we can be able to make them at least be next to, at least development is supposed to be seen in those areas. I'm saying this and I'm praying. We have the land matters in Isiolo. Land, the community land. The northern Kenya, the rangelands are still under what we call community land. And the community land is supposed to belong to the communities of that county. And the communities of that county are pastoralists and sometimes nomadic pastoralists. That does not mean that there are no people in those rangelands. They are there. Our fight all through and insecurity all through has something to do with the resources and development, like I said earlier. And we have to think about this government now to at least face the northern Kenya, starting from Isiolo South and Isiolo Central, Isiolo North. That is the gateway into the vast northern Kenya. We have developments which have come up, Madam Speaker. Lapset is coming there. There are big projects earmarked for those areas. But are we getting the right thing? If Chinese who have been given the contracts bring their vehicles, thousands of vehicles to do the work, and bring cashiers from outside, then are we getting our share bet is a question we have to do. Madam, with those few remarks, I say I thank Isiolo South, members of public, those who have voted me in, and I assure them that I will be there for them every time. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
What's your point of order, Member for Emuhaya?
Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of order on standing order number 95. That when you check the order paper, the next matter is dealing with the selection committee. And honestly, if you look at the progress of contributions, members are also digressing very well to use it to get to their maiden speech. And therefore, they can still proceed and do that even in the next order. So I want to ask that the mover be now called upon to reply. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is that the mood of the House? Yes, and I think there were several speakers who were next in line. I think there was member for South Mugirango, Makueni, Nambale. I think we can move to the next motion and they will continue to contribute since it's similar. I think I agree with the member for Emuhaya on that. I now call upon the mover to reply. No, is it? I just put the question, okay. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is the pursuant to the provisions of standing order. They said the question. They said I just put the question, okay. That pursuant to the provisions of standing order 204, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the committee in addition to those specified under paragraph 1. 1, the Honorable Nelson Koech, MP. 2, the Honorable Rehab Washira Mukami, MP. 3, the Honorable Dido Ali Raso, MP. Standing, yeah. And I prefer, I think, Honorable Member for Seme, you should allow me to finish first. And yes, and you cannot shout point of order. I can see the intervention. And I shall start again. That pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 204, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the committee in addition to those specified under paragraph 1. 1, the Honorable Nelson Koech, MP. 2, the Honorable Rehab Washira Mukami, MP. 3, the Honorable Didi Ali Raso, MP. 4, the Honorable George Gitonga Murungara, MP. 5, the Honorable David Gikaria, MP. 6, the Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, MP. 7, the Honorable Mary Amasa, MP. 8, the Honorable Abdul Rahim Dawood, MP. 9, the Honorable Junet Muhammad, CBS, MP. 10, the Honorable Caleb Amisi, MP. 11, the Honorable Stephen Mule, MP. 12, the Honorable Abdi Shure, MP. 13, the Honorable Naisula Lesuda, MP. 14, the Honorable Philip Kosin, David Kosin, CBS MP. 15, the Honorable Mishimboko, CBS MP. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? Aye. And will as many as of the contrary opinion say no? The ayes have it. Leader for majority of the majority party. You announce first, yeah? Next order, members. And members, you cannot have a point of order over nothing. Nothing has happened at the moment. Member, the leader of majority party, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 172,
hold on, member. He has not called order number 10, please. Mm-hmm. What's your point of view? You haven't even pressed the intervention button, so I will. Oh yes, I've seen you. Yeah. All right, 036. Nominated member John Buddy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. With all due respect, I think there is a procedure that we didn't follow. Madam Speaker, there is a procedure that we missed as a House. And Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member, Mboko Mlemba, requested for the mover to be called upon to reply. And the House first should have agreed with that. We thought when you are rising to put a question, you are going to put a question on the House to give authority for the shortening of the debate for the mover to reply. So that didn't happen, and the mover has not replied to the motion. So we could not proceed to vote on the motion before the mover replies. So even before we go to the next order, Madam Speaker, let's get back and correct the procedure on the previous motion. Thank you.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
I'll call upon then the mover to reply on the original order. Then we shall come back to the next one, the next motion. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I asked if that the mood of the House. Yeah, I now want the mover to be called to.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I think the officers at the clerk's desk need to be more diligent in guiding you. Because indeed, when the Honorable Nyikal was trying to raise a point of order, it is that particular aspect that he was trying to raise, and I had also tried to raise it here, Honorable Speaker. But I think the officers here did not guide you accordingly. And it is only good that we correct that. And I do now beg to reply on that motion for the appointment of the members of the Appointments Committee, as I thank members who have contributed and all of you for the support to this committee, and assure members that this committee, as we have said, will be diligent in ensuring that we exercise our mandate in line with the Constitution, our own standing orders, and in exercise of our constitutional powers to be the House that oversights the Cabinet, the House that will vet and eventually on or before the 27th of this month, when we come back from the short recess, the members of that committee, I'm sure by now you should be aware that there will be no recess for you. It is a short working and busy working recess. So we should be able to table a report for approval, and we'll call upon the House to be there to consider that report when the time comes. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Before I rise to put the question, I just want to, I stand guided. I want to politely ask the senior members who've been in the House longer than me, Honorable Mbadi and Honorable Nyikal, try not to bully me. I'll figure this out. I'm a very fast learner. So don't bully me. No, but member for Seme, I think I take great exception if you shout from your chair. Yeah, so you can't do that. You can make your point of order. I will give you an opportunity to make a point of order properly. And I do stand guided. No, you can't speak without me giving you permission to speak. So let me proceed. Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 204, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the committee in addition to those specified under paragraph 1. 1, the Honorable Nelson Koech MP. 2, the Honorable Rahab Wachira Mukami MP. The Honorable Dido Ali Raso MP. The Honorable George Gitonga Murungara MP. 5, the Honorable David Gikaria MP. 6, the Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi MP. 7, the Honorable Mary Emase MP. 8, the Honorable Abdul Rahim Dawood MP. 9, the Honorable Junet Muhammad CBS MP. 10, the Honorable Caleb Amisi MP. 11, the Honorable Stephen Mule MP. 12, the Honorable Abdishure MP. 13, the Honorable Naisula Lesuda MP. 14, the Honorable David Kosin, CBS MP. 15, the Honorable Mishi Boko, CBS MP. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? And will as many as of the contrary opinion say no? The ayes have it.
Order number 10, motion, appointment of members to the Committee on Selection.
Leader of the Majority Party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I now beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Article 172, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the Committee on Selection in addition to those specified under paragraphs A and B. And Honorable Speaker, I would beg to move this motion in an amended form on some of the names, and I will indicate, Honorable Speaker, where I intend to do that. And that's only on the majority side. Honorable Speaker, number 1 is the Honorable Eric Karemba Mushangi Njiru, MP. Number 2, the Honorable John Kiarie Wawero, MP. Number 3, the Honorable Beatrice Kahai Adagala, MP. Honorable Speaker, number 4, the Honorable Jafet Miriti Karekembuki, CBS MP. Number 5, the Honorable Julius Kipbiwot Meli, MP. Number 6, Honorable Speaker, in place of the Honorable Joash Nyamoko Nyamache, to put in that place the Honorable Silvanas Osoro, the Chief Whip, MP. The Honorable Mother Wangare Wanjira, MP. The Honorable Dr. Robert Pukose, MP. Honorable Speaker, number 9 is the Honorable Lea Sopiato Sankaire, MP. Number 10, the Honorable Anne Muratha Wanjiko Mogo, MP. Number 11, the Honorable Caroline Jepto Ngelechei, MP. Number 12, the Honorable Joseph Majimbo Kalasinga, MP. Number 13, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, CBS MP. Number 14, the Honorable Joshua Kimilu, MP. Number 15, the Honorable Jessica Mbalu, MP. Number 16, the Honorable Julia Sunkuli, EGH, MP. Number 17, the Honorable Samuel Arama, MP. Number 18, the Honorable Ken Chonga, MP. The Honorable Nabi Nabuera, MP. Number 19. Number 20, the Honorable Mulhair Harun, MP. And lastly, number 21, the Honorable Ali Wario Guyo, MP. Honorable Speaker, as I've noted, other than what is already published on the order paper, the amendment of the majority side is to include the Chief Whip in place of the Honorable Joash Nyamoko. And I think we've done that just pursuant to the regional balance that we are trying to achieve. The Honorable Joash Nyamoko hails from the same region with the Honorable Chief Whip, and it is indeed important that the Whip be present in this elections committee. Honorable Speaker, these committee members will appreciate, and I know those in the leadership, both in the minority and in the majority, have had a lot of engagements with members who are seeking to be placed in certain committees. And I have seen people queuing outside the office of the leader of minority, just like there are people queuing outside my office and that of the whip or the deputy leader of my majority, seeking to be placed in committees. And it's good for members to appreciate that this is a committee that is under our standing orders, that is charged with the responsibility of placing you in committees. Not the leader of minority, not the leader of majority. It will be this committee. These members are the members now that you need to engage to place you in the committees of your choice. But I'm certain, as we have done in the majority party, we had given our members the opportunity to pre-list the committees of their choice. And I want to encourage even my colleagues in the minority to organize themselves and at least get your members to pre-list the committees that they desire, so that by the time we get an opportunity, as and when this committee is approved by the House, to sit, we make our work easier on a list that are agreed from both the majority and the minority, so that we make, it's a very tedious exercise and one that will take a lot of time, or one that will require us to balance various interests, to be able to place members in the committees where they are best suited, where your skills, and I'm sure all our members at the time of induction, we had our biodata taken, we have copies of your CVs, so we'll be able to place you in the committees of choice, and we will endeavor to make sure that you are placed in your committees of choice and those that are in line with your skills and competencies. But also, I want to appeal to members, because I have seen, for instance, on our side, on the side of the majority, Honorable Speaker, the members who had requested to be listed in the 8 or so slots that we have on the majority side in the Committee for Transport. I was just looking at the numbers last night. 79 members desire as their first choice to be listed in the Committee for Transport. And I know it is because of the challenges that members have in their constituencies with roads and infrastructure in our backyards. But I want to assure members, as much as you may not all 79 members in the majority cannot fit in that one committee, we will endeavor to list the 8 who will be lucky, the selections committee will find suitable to sit in that committee. Of course, considering, like we have done even in this committee, regional, ethnic, party balance, including representation of our independents. And you see even in the selections committee, the Honorable Ngelechei is there representing the independents in this elections committee. The Honorable Caroline Jepto Ngelechei is there representing. Our small parties are also represented in this committee, and therefore we will take care of the interests. And I want members to trust that this committee will be diligent, will be fair and just to each and every one of us, to make sure that we serve in committees where we'll give our best to the service of our nation. Honorable members, as I have indicated, it may not be possible to place everybody in their first choice, but we will endeavor to place you either in your first, second, or third choice. We'll encourage you to engage with members of this committee with time, and also to be very understanding. And as I said, I've also encouraged the leader of minority to hasten together with your leadership to get the list of members who you may nominate to certain committees, so that by the time we meet, most of the groundwork will have been done, and the committee just sits to ensure that there is a proper balance, that we are placing the right people in the right committees. And lastly, it's just to indicate to members of all of us as members that every committee of this House is as important as any other committee. And being a member of Parliament, you have the opportunity to attend committees of any committee that you want to attend. Nobody stops you from, if you are a member, for instance, of the Transport Committee, nobody will stop you from attending in line with our standing orders. You just need to notify the chair in advance. You want to attend the Budget Committee meetings, you want to attend the Energy Committee meetings, and if you have an interest, for instance, in water and irrigation, because I've seen most of the members are requesting to either be in transport, budget, water and irrigation, health, energy, public accounts committee. Nothing precludes you from attending those committees. And Honorable Pio and I will tell you, when he was chair of the public accounts committee, many of us, or when you have a matter that you are interested in, of course, if it's something that you have a pecuniary interest, you must declare that interest. But you just need to notify the chair. If you want to articulate issues that maybe a minister is appearing before the transport committee, you want to articulate issues that relate to your constituency, you are allowed under our standing orders to appear before that committee with just a simple notice to the chair and be able to articulate issues. Therefore, let us not have very intransigent positions that I must be in this or that committee, and appreciate that with the reduced numbers of our committees after the changes in our standing orders, we have the minority side in most committees will get only 7 members, and they must, within those members, accommodate all the political parties within the coalition. We must also accommodate the independents. Therefore, the numbers that we may expect may not necessarily be what all our expectations are. Honorable Speaker, I will beg members that we quickly expedite with this business of having this selections committee in place, so that by the time we come back from the short recess, without anticipating today's afternoon's business, Honorable Speaker, we'll have completed this business. These committees, again, we have a lot of work. I am hoping, hopefully, by that time, probably His Excellency the President may have nominated persons to sit as principal secretaries. These committees will have their work cut out in the vetting of principal secretaries. Therefore, when we say we want to balance, it is with that understanding that you also need both ranking and seasoned members in certain committees. You also need new members in those committees to be able to learn what goes on in those committees. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, again, with the indulgence of the leader of minority, I wanted to request the leader of minority emeritus to second this motion on behalf of the leader of minority, the Honorable John Badi, to second, and I beg to move.
The Honorable John Badi.
Actually, the leader of majority has just ambushed me. I least expected this. But anyway, let me take this opportunity to second this motion. And I know it is not an easy job. I have been here before. I have served as minority leader in the last parliament, and I know how difficult it is to really balance off the interests of members. And this selection committee has a tough job, but the committee will be helped by the whips and the majority and minority leaders. So their work may not be so difficult, because once the leadership of both sides have sat down and have balanced off the interests, and I'm sure both sides constituted a small committee to look into this matter. I want to just urge for fairness when we know, I don't know for whatever reason, but there are some committees, Madam Speaker, that are being considered to be very important, in quotes. In my first term in this parliament, all committees were almost the same. There was no committee that had a better weight or a higher weight than the others. But it has, over the time, grown that there are some committees which are more attractive, like the Budget and Appropriations, like the Transport or Infrastructure Committee, the Energy Committee, Finance and National Planning. My advice to this committee is to ensure that no member sits in more than one of those committees. Public Accounts Committee, if you are in the Public Accounts Committee, then now forgo budget, forgo finance, forgo transport, forgo energy. So don't put park and then you put budget. No one can give you that. Honestly, if that list comes to this House, members will have a problem with that. So I am sure both sides, the leadership, will look into this matter. As I sit down, Madam Speaker, I just want to appreciate that the House has recognized that I'm a ranking member, and the House has designated a special seat for me. I'm not taking it for granted. I want to thank the House, and I just want to also encourage the leadership from my side to also recognize the same. Thank you.
You're duly recognized. Honorable members, I can see that I have 50 Honorable members, I will propose the question, and thereafter I can see many requests for debate. I propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 172, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the Committee on Selection, in addition to those specified under paragraphs A and B. 1, the Honorable Eric Karemba Muchangi Njiru, MP. 2, the Honorable John Kiari Waweru, MP. 3, the Honorable Beatrice Kahai Adagala, MP. 4, the Honorable Japheth Miriti Kareka Mbikwi, CBS, MP. 5, the Honorable Julius Kibiwot Meli, MP. 6, the Honorable Silvanas Osoro, MP. 7, the Honorable Martha Wangari Wanjira, MP. 8, the Honorable Dr. Robert Pukose, MP. 9, the Honorable Lea Soipato Sankaire, MP. 10, the Honorable Anne Muratha Wanjiko Mugo, MP. 11, the Honorable Caroline Cheptoo Ngelechei, MP. 12, the Honorable Joseph Majimbo Kalasinga, MP. 13, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, CBS, MP. 13, the Honorable Joshua Kimilu, MP. 15, the Honorable Jessica Mbalu, MP. 16, the Honorable Julius Sunkuli, EGH, MP. 17, the Honorable Samuel Arama, MP. 18, the Honorable Ken Chonga, MP. 19, the Honorable Nabi Nabwera, MP. 20, the Honorable Umuker Harun, MP. 21, the Honorable Ali Wario Guyo, MP. Honorable members, I can see that there are 53 requests now of members who want to have shown interest. And like I said earlier in the morning, that a maiden speech is a maiden speech, whether you do it now or next year. For the first time, the practice of the House is to allow members a little extra leeway in the middle of in between the debate to use that opportunity to make their maiden speeches. So I think I will be asking members, let's try not to make too many interventions, to allow the members use this opportunity to make their maiden speeches. And so I now call upon the nominated member, the Honorable Bishop Jackson Koskei.
My mic is not working. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I want to begin by congratulating you, having been elected the Deputy Speaker of this august House. The same I extend to our Speaker, Honorable Wetangula, for having been elected to be the Speaker of both of you for the 13th Parliament. I also would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all members having gone through rigorous election exercises, and finally, by the grace of God, you have had an opportunity to be in this august House. Above all, Madam Speaker, I wish to express my greatest and deepest gratitude to constituencies that elected members with disabilities in this country. They are great. I wish to congratulate them for not seeing them, to thank having considered me, among others, to be representative of special interest groups and persons with disability. I wish to say how improvement in our speech, several bills that needed to be revived in the House. We looked at them, and some of the bills should have been there, in as Parliament to Senate, and had a meeting with the Kediba, which is a caucus group. We will be bringing the attention of the relook on the instruments that helps persons with disability in this country and their families and guardians and people who are related to them one way or another. Disability Act, the national policy on persons with disability, the regulations, some of which are ambiguous in operation, and therefore it has hampered administration and capacity to administrate. Contributed over time, we create more disabled in the country. At the issues that are underlining northern part of Rift Valley belt, that there is got to be a concerted effort by all leaders and look at this faith-based services in this country for the last over 40 years. I have, in my opinion, concluded that this thing requires more of a political goodwill rather than we introduce a motion and what are the causes. With this, Madam Speaker, I wish to thank you for giving me the opportunity. I guess I've been trying since we started, but I think I was a bit analog. There was one button that I did not press, so I thought I could not see it. But thank you very much. May God bless you. Good morning.
Member for Makueni County. Okay, she's not there. Member for Wajir West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to make my first maiden speech in this House. Allow me to start by thanking the Almighty Allah who has given me this opportunity to represent the people for Wajir West in this August House. I also want to congratulate you for being elected as the Deputy Speaker in this Honorable House. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the people of Wajir West. From Wagala Ganyure Ward, Adem Masajida Ward, Hadado Adebohol Ward, Girif to Arbejahan Ward, for finding fit me to represent with humility and deep sense of appreciation to the electorates who sent me here to represent them in this 13th House. Madam Speaker, Wajir West is unique with its own unique challenges. While it faces similar challenges in the rest of the country, but Wajir West has specific, unique challenges that none other or any other constituencies are facing in this country. Among them, it is historical injustices that happened in Wagala massacre on 10th February 1984. That several people, innocent people, were rounded up, put into an airstrip by the security agencies in this country. Madam Speaker, the child who was born on that particular day is today around 40 years old, having gone through very serious and challenging life. He grew up while he had no father, and probably his mother was raped in the same act. Madam Speaker, this massacre has been documented very well in so many reports, including the TGRC report, which gave a raft of recommendation to this country. But the only thing that was done was a blanket apology by the President of the Republic of Kenya on 2015. That was the former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But the rest of the recommendation has been shelved in the shelves and archives of this country. And I appeal to this government to kindly look into it, get the recommendation, and act upon it. Madam Speaker, Wajir West has also issues of insecurity on a daily basis. As much as the security agencies are trying the best, but they are overwhelmed in so many occasions by cattle rustlers and other thugs who have decided to commercialize animal thefts, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in the last 5 years, 50 people have been killed in Wajir West. Innocent people who are looking after their animals. They have done no crime. They were just surviving on their daily, they were just doing on their daily care, their daily activities. But they were butchered, killed, maimed, and their animals forcefully taken, Madam Speaker. No inquiries or arrest or investigation has been made on those matters, Madam Speaker. The government so far has not returned back the animals. They have not investigated or arrested anyone on all those that happened during those times. Madam Speaker, of late, just recently, on daily basis, cattle are being stolen, taken. Camels are also stolen and taken on daily basis. Even last night, as we speak, 60 herds of camel has been stolen, and one man who was looking after it was injured. Today, he is lying in the bed of hospital, and we don't know his situation at the moment. Madam Speaker, I appeal to the government to facilitate the security agencies who have not been facilitated in terms of movements and in terms of personnel, Madam Speaker, to act upon or carry on their mandate. Madam Speaker, these security issues are trying to deprive lives and the livelihoods of Wajir West. Wajir West people feel or have similar problems like any other part of this country, like poverty, drought, unemployment, but they have this other burden on their shoulders. They have the right, Madam Speaker, to be, Madam Speaker, to be protected. Their lives should be protected. Their animals and properties should also should be protected. They have the right enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya, Madam Speaker. The security agencies are trying their best, but they are short. They have been handicapped in terms of movement and personnel. I therefore appeal to the government of Kenya, specifically the minister that will be appointed, that has been already appointed and will be vetted in this House, to act upon my request. Madam Speaker, Wajir West also faces serious drought challenge. As we know, today, the drought issue in this country is in a very serious situation, a situation where we are about to lose lives. And if I could have been allowed in this House, I don't know the standing orders, whether they allow it or not, to play some videos to demonstrate the seriousness of that issue in this House, Madam Speaker. However, Madam Speaker, I appeal to the President of this country to kindly declare the issue of drought a disaster, so that other agencies and international communities can chip in to assist the affected people, especially the ASAL counties, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, to conclude, I want to thank the people of Wajir West for having faith in me and sending me here to represent them in this August House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I now call upon Hassan Bare, member for Tarba. What's your point of order, Leader of Majority?
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I didn't want to interrupt any of the maiden speeches, but I have noticed, Honorable Speaker, as much as members are complaining that the gadgets are changing the ordering, I noticed people are trying to relog, and maybe just as a point of information, to inform our new members, if you remove your card or you press the mic button again and it goes off, it relegates you down. I noticed that's why many of them were saying they found themselves at number 15, then fell down to number 30 because they are relogging and pressing the mic button to get your attention, Honorable Speaker. But now that I'm on my feet, Honorable Speaker, also, since you did recognize the students from pupils from Genesis Academy or Genesis School in Kikuyu, to also appreciate their presence and welcome them to the National Assembly. This is one of our best performing schools in the Republic of Kenya. In 2019, it is a school that produced the top boy, who is now a student in my former school. The school, the Alliance High School. And I want to encourage the Alliance High School. I want to encourage those students who are here from Genesis School to put in their best effort and work hard, and we look forward to their success, those who will be sitting their KCPE this year, and I wish them all the best. And those who desire to join the Alliance High School, they have examples to follow. in Andy Michael, who was the best student from that school in 2019. And of course, yours faithfully, who is an old boy of the Alliance.